Good afternoon. It's the 18th of June 2024. Here from the kitchen table for the evening cup of tea. And Eamon Ryan, as I predicted, has stepped down. He's decided to quit altogether. He's not going to go for election again either. I would have thought maybe a plan would be to get elected to the Senate. That's unlikely, or get appointed there. He may have some offer of a job somewhere. I just don't know. But he's stepping down anyway. And his next in line, the obvious successor, would be Catherine Martin. And she has made a Hames of RTE. And so eventually the government, the Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, they really got rid of them by giving them all the jobs where they'd make a complete mess of. Now, we look at Ryan's achievement. It's on the radio today about all the great achievements, and they're all talking highly of him. In fairness to the Healy Rays, they didn't do it. He built 4,000 megawatts of onshore wind farms and built far more if he could. And the total amount of concrete in those wind farms is 1,358,000 tonnes. And concrete production creates 8% of the emissions of the world. Now, there'd also be a lot of steel in there. So it would never, in his lifetime, my lifetime or yours, would we ever recoup the carbon footprint of the stupid windmills he built. Now, he said in 2016 he wanted 5 million migrants into Ireland, and he has got a good few of them. But he's not near 5 million. He wouldn't have 1 million of them in yet. So that shows you what his true intention was. That's not very popular with the other parties or with the public. Now, in the European election, they did very bad, and in the council election, they lost half their seats on the county councils. So I think we can say there'll be no resurrection of votes for the Green Party, except in the snotty areas and snobby areas of Dublin South, and that's about it. They'll get no more traction in the rest of Ireland. Now, while they're pontificating about CO2 emissions, 90 articulated lorry loads of aviation fuel go into Dublin Airport every day. Right? They bring wood chips across from America. Just think of that, and the diesel and the oil that's required for it. In the recent planning permission by Bord Pleanála, a very good point was copped that I didn't, that the drains in the bogs were never granted planning permission, and that the law says they should have been. So what was happening is the turf was being dug out without ever getting permission to dig the drains for the bogs. And Bord Pleanála, funny enough, I think it's a funny decision, have ruled that they have to have before they can grant the wind farm licenses or permission. And that means the wind farms have got another whack. Now, the Irish Examiner today, they have this ridiculous, planning and development bill. It has 572 sections of complete and utter woofy. No man or his father could figure out what in the name of God they're trying to say. And this is a hallmark of the Greens. Pudsey Ryan stuff. Stupid words that mean nothing. And as I said before, you had Roderick O'Gorman saying the courts would figure them out. So he writes the words and expects the courts to figure it. Now, on the television tonight, Radio Television Sheridan interviewed Ryan and interviewed a few people, but they went out to his constituency and they interviewed them. I have no doubt that they got a lie. They told a lie. They interviewed about 160 people, and they got 3 or 4 to speak highly of Ryan, and not one spoke poorly of him. Despite the fact that that's a constituency, a multi-seat constituency, and at least 2/3 of the people would not have voted for him. Every one of them said they did. Now that's a statistical impossibility, right? If you have a constituency, we'd say with 4 seats in it, and you go around and you survey 100, well, on average, only 25%. On average, if the vote, we say for the Greens there, was 25%, on average, only 25% should speak positively of him. But everyone voted for him, and everyone praised him. So they couldn't all have voted for him there. So what Radio Television Sheridan was doing was lying. They were lying about it. They were pretending that everyone they put the camera to praised Ryan, when in fact they suppressed and hid and deleted all the ones that didn't praise him. So the lying goes on, and that's nothing new. Now, then we're getting this constant barrage. Will it ever stop? Telling us each month is the hottest yet. When in fact people are lighting fires in their homes. In June, in the middle of June, as we approach the longest days of the year, people in Ireland have some form of heating on, and that's the same in the UK, and it was mentioned. And so the bluff is beginning to call. This is one massive lie. The Ukraine war is lost. They thought they'd win that, and there'd be massive resources and massive money pumped into it, and Ireland had the builders go in there and they'd plunder it, and so would all these BlackRock investments. It's lost. They had a summit the other day, and the 78 people signed, but the bulk of countries have no interest in it and did not sign it. So they want fossil fuel to stop, and so in an environment where they're burning all this oil in aircraft, and they stopped the grant of a license to an oil driller off the south coast of Ireland. That driller had invested an awful lot, wanted to drill for oil, and he was stopped. And so that investment is dead because of the actions of this loony. Okay. No, the government policy is there'll be no more cars after 2035. We all know that's a scam. That's not going to happen. But still, I think he would be at a stage where all this stuff would not be very popular, and he probably wouldn't even get elected in his own swanky Dublin area when they realise he's taken the cars. So he looked like a lad who has just run out a road on the telly. Now, they're trying to destroy the farmer and replace us with data centres. I got notice to get rid of some of my cows, which I'm a farmer, and it was on the radio yesterday where South Korea is now beginning to take Irish beef again. They'd like people like me to produce good beef and sell it to South Korea, but his policy is no, you won't get doing that. So who in a country is going to vote for that fella? You see houses all over the place with no chimneys. You can't have a fire in your house. And how are you supposed to heat your house? With electricity, and it's supposed to be produced by these windmills. And if it's a calm day, there's none. And if it's a dark night, there's no solar. Maybe finally somebody told him, this is not going to work. They're giving houses, 84 homes in Clonmel, to migrants, and they're putting a man out of his home in Tipperary for not having planning permission. They won't give him a retention planning permission. So there's no problem breaking the law when it comes to non-nationals, but you see the problem they have is non-nationals don't have a vote, and they got a kicking in the recent elections. And Germany is destroyed. People are freezing in their homes. The heat pumps that are supposed to be great, they're finding they can't use them, they're too expensive. They're not really renewable heat at all. That's a SCOD. They're an electric heating system. The horse industry is in disarray. Well, they're in the cabinet. They mightn't have responsibility for horses, but they're in disarray. And now there's more to come there, and plenty of incompetence. So RTE is going very little. Their whole support was coming from the media whipping up the climate change things night and noon and morning, and it's kind of ebbing now. He's been a minister, but I think he knows he almost certainly would not be elected the next time. I don't know about that, but certainly in the country areas, the Green Party would get no votes at all. They got no MEPs in the recent European elections. So all told, as Enoch Powell says, all political careers eventually result in failure. I do not do that. I don't think not all careers resulted in failure, but I do think that Ryan is a failure. He can't do what he's doing, and the big point is, and I keep saying it, and it's in yesterday's paper, they are putting in this planning bill, and they're prepared to ride roughshod over the law, but it doesn't wash. Once you get the people who make the law in, they view it and they realise that they're breaking the law and depriving you and I of our constitutional rights. So folks, we let you go with that, but that's a momentous day to get rid of that fella. I think you can say he's gone out of our lives. I want his pension cut. There should be an inquiry. We trust my policy. All corrupt politicians and all naive and ineffective politicians should have their pensions cut so that they only just get enough to live on, to buy a few eggs and a bit of tea, and that's it. They should not get any more than that. And that's something I'd love to see happening. But for now, anyway, it's good to see the end of him, and that other old Catherine Martin won't be long after him. Bye, folks. Good luck.